Thank you. You may seat. Roll call and verification of quorum. I don't see. Oh, Brody.
Hey, Beyond just asked if I would do it 'cause they're sick. Lazo,
Present.
Trainer, Corelli,
Present.
Morissette,
Present.
Temple,
Present.
Guerrero,
Present.
Blanco,
Present.
Polera,
Present.
Kringle,
Present.
Daedalus. She just stepped out. DeCara,
Present.
Butler,
Present.
Conti,
Present.
Shanoon, Lazier, Fintel,
Present.
Hamid,
Present.
Rose,
Present.
Whitson, Brown, Samillo,
Present.
Humayun,
Present.
Patel, Yalamanchili, Luthra, Acosta,
Present.
Lopez, Hashimi,
Present.
Duke, Torres Disqua,
Present.
Holmes, Hurst, Fuchs, Musemeyer,
Present.
Freehofer,
Present.
Federico, Pullman, Richmond,
Present.
Vasquez, DeMarla,
Here.
Matal. With 25 out of 41, quorum is verified.
Thank you. Please take a look at last meeting's minutes. And do we have a motion? Chair Temple.
Move to approve last meeting's minutes.
There's a motion to approve last meeting's minutes. Are there any objections? Seeing none, please take a look at this week's agenda and let me know if you have a motion. Senator Acosta.
Motion to approve this meeting's minutes.
There's a motion to approve this meeting's minutes. Are there any objections? Seeing none, open forum. Are there any individuals here that want to speak at open forum? Yeah, you can come up ahead and use this mic. Seeing no questions, thank you for your time. Announcements from the student body president.
Good evening, Senate. Oh my gosh, I feel like I haven't been here in so long. For the president's report, thank you all who attended last night's MSD vigil, and he is hereby appointing Mira Lashkamanan, Judicial Seat 7.
Are there any questions? Chair Hamid.
I'm not sure if you can really answer this question, but was there a reason why the MSD vigil that was meant to be on the sigil downstairs in the student union wasn't set up in the morning, but was instead set up right before the vigil?
I don't have an answer for that. I'm sorry.
Is that a follow-up question?
I have a secondary question.
You may.
Was there any contact that was made with any of the family members or anyone that had a relationship to the victims made before the vigil?
I am also unaware of that as well. Not particularly my jurisdiction per se. If you want to get in contact though and figure out if that did happen, I would contact Christina Cabrera, our safety transportation coordinator.
Are there any other questions? Senator Brown.
President voting.
So noted at 7:20 p.m. Are there any other questions? Chair DeCara.
I feel like you also could have ended this, but I just still want to ask it. For the cultural fair that's happening, why was like none of the caucus heads asked about it? Apparently it was planned since the summer. That's what I've heard. So, but none of us have been asked or like, any input and any way we could help.
So I won't speak for our diversity and inclusion coordinator, but I do know she's been putting in a lot of hard work for this and contacting a lot of RSOs. So it may have just slipped her mind. But of course, every single caucus member leadership is, of course, welcome to come and help out if they would like.
Are there any other questions? Chair Hamid.
Apologies, I don't know if you can answer this either, but was there a reason why for every victim of the MSD shooting that there was only one sentence written about them? Or about one sentence?
I don't know why. I think they just wanted to put in a quick bit about each victim, just to, respect them, to pay memory to them. That's all I know.
Are there any other questions? Vice Chair Kringle.
Can we have President Greenaway probably veto the fiscal budget bill so we can fit in more money for ducks?
You're gonna have to ask him.
Are there any other questions? Seeing none, announcement from the student body vice president, none. Comptroller's report.
All right, the comptroller's report, CRT is $112,113.12. Balance, 73% reversions. FAO is $55,647.09 balance, 0% reversions.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Seeing none, Attorney General's report.
Hi, Senate. I've been here quite a bit. I just have a quick update for you. The Task Force on Space Utilization has finally agreed to doing my student survey, which is a huge win for us. There will be an Instagram post for it, as well as a mass email sent out to students, hopefully tomorrow. I'm hoping that plans out tomorrow, but it's been a lot of coordinating. The survey is expected to remain open until March 15th, but it may be extended based off of participation rates. So we will discuss that again. Please share this survey with other UCF students and encourage them to fill it out. This survey allows students to have a voice when it comes to classroom scheduling.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Seeing none. Cabinet Forum, none. Announcements from the Chief Justice Silva. Are there any? None. Announcements from the supervisor of elections.
Hey, good evening, Senate. So I just wanted to remind you, those of you who want to run for re-election, applications close tomorrow at 5 p.m. If you would like to be on the ballot, get that in. By that time, I have the link in the minutes, but if not, it's on the Student Government Election Commission Night Connect. We have one info session left. It's going to be Monday at 5 p.m. But if that time doesn't work for you and you still need to attend one, just email me and we can work something out. And then please obviously share this information with anyone who's interested. And so far, just to keep you updated, obviously we get most of our applicants last day. We're all college students, so we get it. But so far we have one presidential ticket and 26 candidates who are confirmed for Senate right now. So we also have a few more in there who haven't attended info sessions yet and whatnot. And I know a lot of y'all still need to put in your applications, so make sure you do that tomorrow. And yeah, we'll have a lot more coming in tonight and tomorrow. And then yeah, y'all have any questions?
You're gonna have to remind me of your last name.
Guerrero.
Guerrero, Senator Guerrero.
If you were recently confirmed to the Senate, do you have to fill out this application?
If you would like to be in Senate for 2024 and 2025, yes.
Are there any other questions? Seeing none, thank you. Announcements from the Activity and Service Fee Committee Chair, none. Announcements from the Scholarship Committee Chair, none. Announcements from the Senate President, none. Announcements from the Internal Legislative Assistant, none. I think it's her birthday too, so happy birthday, Allison. Announcements from the External Legislative Assistant report, Laurel.
Hi. Yeah, happy birthday, Allison. Hope you're not watching though. Go to your dean meeting. And then this is from Kirsten, the best mentee ever, we know. Nighthon's Champion Challenge starts Sunday. So if you're on the team, expect a lot of text messages from Kirsten, including resources and goals. And going off of that, I'll be in a dunk tank. I'm so excited. 12 to 12:30 Tuesday outside of the student union. Please come and dunk me. And then I'm working on the advising survey with Speaker Holmes.
Thank you. Do we have any questions? Chair Hamid.
Is there a limit to how many times someone can be dunked?
I
For no
don't
reason.
I don't know if your aim's that good, so we'll just have to see.
You'll see next Tuesday.
Chair Temple.
Yeah, more question curiosity as well. How did you manage to become a dunking victim, I guess?
Shout out Kirsten once again.
Do we have any other questions? Seeing none, announcements from the Senate President Pro Tempore. That's me. I hope everyone's doing well. As we start to wrap the session up, I know it's still a month and a half away, something like that. Just keep in mind if you want to run again next semester, the applications are due tomorrow, as Grace said. But also, if you're interested in running for a position in Senate, whether it be a like ILA, ELA, a deputy, a committee or caucus chair or speaker pro tempore, this is the time to start getting used to those roles. Ask those people if you can shadow them, or if you don't feel comfortable, you can always talk to me and Sierra. We have a good understanding of what each position entails. So we're more than happy to sit down and see what, you want your goals for the next session to be. And then additionally, this is for committee and caucus leadership. We have a lot of caucus time today. I think we have like 4 committee/caucuses caucusing. So we kind of wanted to make a note on it because we've been lenient. From here on now, caucus time should be used when there's no other time during the week that you guys can host it. This is why emergency meetings exist. If you cannot meet during your designated time, you need to find a time that works and notify leadership at least 24 hours in advance. As leadership, it is your responsibility to hold meetings outside of Senate meetings. Sierra and I will no longer be taking caucus time from committees or caucuses who haven't put in the effort to have an emergency meeting first. So obviously we know this is a case-by-case basis, but this is to encourage you to, have an emergency meeting, because today we're probably going to have to caucus for an hour in entirety. So that's like a bunch of people not actually involved in the caucuses or committees that kind of just have to wait outside. But that's all there is for me. Once again, be easy since I'm sharing today. Oh, any questions? Seeing none, Deputy Pro Tempore of Legislative Affairs report.
Hi, everyone. Just letting you guys know I'll be cutting off accepting fiscal bills soon. I will communicate all the details once I completely hash that out, but start letting our RSOs know so there's no miscommunication with that. And I will be planning to collaborate with the Valencia College student government senators, and I'll provide more details on that soon as well.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Chair Simillo.
In relation to you closing the bills, are you going to let the chairs know?
Yeah, I'll let fiscal leadership know. I was gonna speak more with Akila first and also with Sierra so she can send that out on Instagram as well.
Are there any other questions? Seeing none, Deputy Pro Tempore of Senate Relations report, none. Caucus reports, APIA caucus, none. Black caucus.
Hi, everyone. Sorry, I lost myself. Okay. Hi, everyone. Please continue to take care of yourselves. Drink at least 8 cups of water a day and eat at least 2 nutritious. Whoever put nutritious, thank you so much, because I did forget that again. But eat at least 2 nutritious meals a day. There has to be more vegetables and fruits than starch, please. Tomorrow is Friday, 3rd Friday of the month. Happy Black History Month again, if you forgot. So the caucus will be out in Memory Mall with another food truck. So just come with the empty stomach and a pocket really ready to give. So yeah, and if all else fails, just come and conversate with the caucus if you're bored. And then next Tuesday, we'll be having our Black Business Showcase in the patio from 12 to 3. So come out and support because it's a lot of them. And there's a food vendor as well too. So, if you're feeling food, she already has it, packaged and ready to go by Tuesday. So come out.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Seeing none, Latin Hispanic Caucus.
Today was really short. We just did a little recap of what we did basically last meeting. I'm still waiting back to hear from MSC. There's a little kind of like idea I proposed to them to help with caucus work between us and outreach, and then they also are helping with the event I have later on. I'm also planning on having a meeting regarding a student advisory board for a grant. And then the caucus will have a spring event. It'll be March 29th. It's a Friday. So please mark your calendars. It's hopefully going to be a really big event that the caucus has been working on. So be in the Pegasus Ballroom. I'll have it's 6 to 8. But hopefully I'll have more stuff as it gets closer and closer. If you have any ideas of who to reach out to for it's RSO based, I have any people to reach out to, or you want to help in any way, please let me know.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Seeing none, LGBTQ plus caucus chair.
Hello, everybody. Hope your week's been good and that y'all had a good Valentine's Day and also got yourself some cheap candy today because it's all on sale. We did not meet this week, but we will be meeting next Thursday, 1:30 p.m. So please join us if you can. We met last week and we had vice chair elections. So congrats to our new vice chair, Coordinator Burge. We also had a journalist come in and ask our caucus members about thoughts on recent anti-DEI laws, and that was a really productive conversation. So it turned out really well. And then I also want to share a resource from the center. Once again, they host a trans support group every Monday from 6 to 7:30 in person and every Tuesday, 6 to 7:30 over Zoom. So if you want to know more, I've also linked it, or you can reach out to me. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Seeing none, Women's Caucus.
Hey guys, so we just had a really chill meeting today. Not much to report other than to remind you of the Women's Business Showcase taking place on March 28th, 2024. It's going to be from 11 to 3 p.m. in the Student Union patio. So I dropped the link for you guys for if you want to send that out to potential vendors to sign up with. Coming up soon, y'all are going to be sick of me because working on a lot of legislation. And lastly, the Safety and Transportation Coordinator Cabrera is running an event called the Women's Empowerment Conference on March 7th in the Pegasus Ballroom from 11 to 12 to 2. Sorry. There's going to be speakers, food, and a networking opportunity. So I'm not associated with this. You will not see me tabling, but you guys are more than welcome to make an appearance. There's going to be a flyer about it in the conference room.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Military and Veterans Caucus.
Hey y'all, so rest of the meeting scheduled for the rest of the semester. It's all gonna be at 4 p.m. in the student room 222 in the Pensacola boardroom. We have the last meeting on April 22nd. Main thing is we have the proclamation on the agenda tonight for the Coast Guard Reserve's birthday, written by you know who. Thank you very much for always writing those. And yeah, that's all for me.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Seeing none. Unfinished business, none. Fiscal Committee caucus time. CRT 10 minutes and ORS 15 minutes. I will recess for. Does anyone prefer a certain room? Okay, we'll have CRT in here and ORS in the conference room if that works. We'll recess for 15 minutes. I hereby recess at 7:35 p.m. to reconvene at 7:50 p.m.
Carly. Am I allowed to just stay here? I don't want to get up.
All right, if everyone in the back could quiet down a little bit, I'm going to start the meeting. Thank you. All right, so I call this meeting to order at 7:37 p.m. Roll call and verification of quorum. Vice Chair Kringle.
Chair Smillo.
Present.
I'm here. Senator Conti.
Present.
Senator Guerrero. Absent. Senator Lazier.
Present.
Senator Yalamanchili. Senator Yera. Just kidding. ORS rep. And pro tempo rep.
Here.
Quorum is verified.
Guerrera's here.
Where? Oh, there you are. Guerrero. Where's the A, Kylie?
All right, with that, quorum's verified. I'll take a motion for approval of the minutes.
Motion to approve last meeting's minutes.
There's been a motion to approve last meeting's minutes. Are there any objections? Seeing none, it stands approved. Approval of the agenda. I'll take a motion.
Motion to approve today's agenda.
There's been a motion. Are there any objections? Seeing none. Announcements from the chair. I don't have any. We just are seeing one thing and Adam's going to talk for them. With that, none from the vice chair, none from committee members, none from non-committee members. Old business, none. New business, allocation 55-624 Carter. I'll take a motion.
Motion for 5 minutes, features found in question, found debate.
There's been a motion for 555. Are there any objections? Seeing none. Whenever you're ready.
Yeah, so this deadline wouldn't meet, but the conference is pushing back the due date that it's due to whenever the student government can pay. So they're good. They're in timeline. Financially trained, those post-funding process. They're only asking for registration. Only expecting the $250. We'll pay back everything. They're informed and everything else. I'll be all. I yield my time.
All right, with that, we are now in line of questioning. Does anybody have any questions? Seeing none, I'll take a motion.
Motion to debate.
There's been a motion to move to debate. We are now in debate. Anybody want to debate?
I like it.
Cool. With that, we are now voting. All those for, all those against, and all those abstaining with a vote count of 1, 2, 3, 4 to 0 to 2. He has been approved. With that, we are now at member discussion. Does anybody want to say anything? None. Miscellaneous business? None. I'll take a motion.
Motion to adjourn pending final roll call.
There's been a motion to adjourn pending final roll call. Are there any objections? Seeing none, go ahead.
Chair Smillo.
Present.
I am here. Senator Conti. Senator Guerrero. Senator Lazier.
Present.
Senator Yalmanchili. ORS rep. And Pro Tempore rep.
Present.
Quorum is verified.
All right, I adjourn this meeting at 7:40.
That's nuts.
And hopefully submitted it.
I hereby reconvene this meeting at 8 p.m. or 7:59 p.m. Fiscal committee reports, CRT committee.
Hi, everybody. So in committee on 2/12/24 in new business, we approved allocations 55, 606, 07, 08, 09, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. We denied 613, postponed 607, 608, and 619. And then in caucus today, we did approve allocation 55, 634. And also, guys, some exciting news. So we as CRT have impacted a grand total of 1,556 students so far this year. We've had a surplus of allocations come in, and I'm just so happy to say that I've had the opportunity to reach my goals and teach a lot of people fiscal knowledge. If anybody has any questions here in Senate about fiscal stuff, I'm more than happy to let you guys in on anything. I know a lot of things in my brain. I've also picked at Tyler's brain, and we all know Tyler knows a lot of things fiscal. So, yeah, but that's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you. FAO committee.
We approved allocation 55, 105, 106, 107, 108, 112, 111. We postponed 55, 95, 90, 98, 104, 109, and 110.
Thank you. ORS committee. Oh, sorry. Chair Duke.
Present voting.
So noted at 8:01 p.m. Are there any questions? Oh, D. Summertall.
President voting.
So noted at 8:01 p.m. Are there any questions? Seeing none, ORS committee.
All right, so we didn't meet this Monday, but during the caucus today, we discussed SB 5523 and options to move forward on that.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Seeing none, fiscal legislation, notice of legislation on first reading, bills, fiscal bill 5541, funding for 20 members of Psi Chi International Honor Society of Psychology to travel to Research of Identity, Legacy, and Future in Tilburg, Netherlands from June 5th, 2024 to June 7th, 2024. Vice Chair Duke, remanded to CRT. Resolutions, none. Special acts, none. Oh, wait, that shouldn't even be there. Notice of legislation on third reading, bills. I'm just going to say the name of the bill. Fiscal Bill 5535. Is there a motion for speeches, questioning, and debate? I'm going to pick on you people. Chair Lazo.
Motion for 5-minute speech, 5-minute questioning, 5-minute debate.
There's a motion for 5-minute speeches, 5-minute questioning, 5-minute debate. Are there any objections? Seeing none, is the D-Leg more set whenever you're ready?
Yeah, my computer restarting, so give me 1 second.
Is your RSO here?
No. Okay. I'll be representing the third reading. But yeah, this is for them to just have their magazine printed. Not really a magazine, but it's just like a book of all the artists who collaborate on the Cypress Dome. They do this every year. This is their 35th annual one, I believe. It was 2,700 from my knowledge. None of the numbers have changed. We spoke with them. Everything seems to hand out. I also believe they were at our Black, Beautiful, and Baroque last week. So we've seen them, communicate with them. All the numbers look good. With that, I'll yield to questioning.
Are there any questions? Vice Chair Kringle.
Motion to debate.
There's a motion to move to debate. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we are now in debate. Is there any debate? Chair Samillo.
May I retain?
You may.
We saw this before and we all happily approved. I don't see any issue with approving it now. With that, move to vote.
There's a motion to move to voting. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we are now in voting procedure. With a vote count of 26 to 0, fiscal bill 5535 passes on third reading. Fiscal bill 5536. Senator Fantel, you have 5 minutes whenever you're ready.
Okay, I don't believe the RSO's here. So we saw them a couple weeks ago. We know KXR. I know KXR. They do some great stuff. I don't believe anything has changed, so I would see no reason why we shouldn't just go ahead and pass this again. I yield my time to questioning.
We are now in questioning. Are there any questions? Seeing none, is there a motion? Chair Temple.
Move to debate.
There's a motion to move to debate. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we're in debate. Chair Samilo.
May I retain?
Yes, you may.
Yeah, we again have seen this before. We all voted to approve it, so I see no reason why to not now. Move to vote.
There's a motion to move to voting. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we're now in voting procedure. With a vote count of 27 to 0, fiscal bill 5536 passes on third reading. Notice of legislation on second reading, bills, fiscal bill 5538. Chair Butler, you have 5 minutes whenever you're ready.
I think. Wait, which one is this?
This is the American Society of Mechanical Engineers to host.
Are they not here?
Are the RSOs here? Okay.
Oh yeah, they are here. Okay. I
So-
yield to the RSO. Sorry, I was just making my. Okay. I yield to the RSO.
You can just come up and present over here. Do you have a presentation or? Okay, perfect. We'll just pull it up on the back behind. And Huh?
You'll have to grant me access to it.
Now it is. Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you all. Thank you all for having me. I'm Jake Burrows. I'm the External Projects Director for the American Society of Mechanical Engineers. And this is Logan McBride, our treasurer. And we are here today to request funding assistance for our external projects. If you'd like to go to the next slide. So our external projects are our longest term running projects besides our EHPVC project, which we have spoken about the other week. But these projects are, as I just said, they're long-term. They consist of two different categories, SDC and IM3D, and they both compete at the same EFX national ASME competitions every single year. We competed last year, we competed over COVID when it was online, and we competed prior to that when it was also in person. These teams do travel, as I said, to compete. And this is one of our biggest technical building projects that we offer in the club. You also, can build connections with other students of multiple disciplines and then with professionals at the ASME competitions. And this is open to all of our members. If you'd like to the next slide. So like I said, these are long-term, and the reason why these projects take so long is because our students build these from the ground up with just the whole point of building their technical resume experience. So we start in the middle of fall in early October, and we end at the end of April when these competitions go and travel to compete. And this includes, preliminary brainstorming for the vehicles that we need to create, computer-aided design with software such as SolidWorks or Onshape, depending on what we are using for that year. Basic and additive manufacturing, so 3D printing or working with laser cutters to make woodwork and stuff like that. Structural analysis, so stuff with ANSYS or Altair, any programs you have ever seen like that with structural and fluid analysis. Vehicle assembly, prototyping and iteration, which is probably one of the largest portions of the project, where we get our first prototype out, and then from there we need to iterate on multiple designs to get the most efficient vehicle. And then test driving, writing of our design report that goes alongside these projects, and then competing. So a lot of the skills that we build through here is, as I previously stated, computer-aided design with a various number of softwares that we use from year to year, structural analysis, additive manufacturing with plastics, electronics configuration, which is a huge play in these mechatronics projects, and then writing of the technical design report, as I previously stated. And this also allows our students to build professional skills as our team leads, which I am a team lead for one, and that's how I ended up coming to this role of overseeing all the projects. But our team leads get an experience to work with a large team because these are usually students of 10 to 20 students. And then working with engineering majors of multiple disciplines, because although we are the American Society of Mechanical Engineers, we have disciplines from all across the college. And then, of course, you also get experience with professionals at the events that we travel to. Next slide. As I've stated, we nationally compete every year. These are some photos from last year. You can see I'm in there as well. But we traveled to Milwaukee, Wisconsin last year to compete nationally. Lots of fun. We finished 5th place amongst about 20 teams. Other colleges in Florida also compete, USF, UF, UNF, they were all there. This gives our students opportunities to network with fellow ASME members, both student members and professional members. These events also provide workshops for students to build technical and professional skills while there. Industries tours, such as there was a Milwaukee tour there and a Komatsu tour and a couple other stuff, just for a great experience for the students. So as I just stated completely, so these are our EFX external projects. They are in two categories, SDC and IM3D. SDC is our student design competition, which this year the guidelines for this project are to design a small remote control vehicle that can play golf completely hands-free. And then this is in an elimination style bracket. And then the innovative additive manufacturing challenge, which this year it is to design and print a 3D printed drone to race an obstacle course and carry a payload as quick as possible. But these two projects, although they have two different categories, they compete at the same events, compete side by side, and they require practically the exact same parts, as they're both very similar when it comes to mechatronic design. So these projects are costly because since they are one of our most mechanically sound vehicles that we make for our students each year, they do require, high quality parts. So last year, our two teams that did travel costed us $1,200, about $1,200 for the vehicle alone, not including travel costs. This year,
Sorry, not to interrupt. Time is up. Is there a motion to extend speaking time? Vice Chair Kringle.
Motion to extend by 3 minutes.
There's a motion to extend by 3 minutes. Are there any objections? Seeing none. Sorry.
no worries, sorry about that. This is my last slide. But this year we have 3 competing teams, 2 for IM3D and 1 for SDC, that will be traveling to compete later this April. And each team will need about $600 in various parts. This includes brushless DC motors. SDC will also need brushed DC motors, filament for creating 3D printed parts, ordering 80/20 metal frame for the teams, speed controllers for the motors, FPV goggles for controlling the drones, and various other electronics and mechanical parts that we'll be needing. So we are requesting half of this. Thank you all.
Are there any questions, Chair Temple?
Two from me.
Yes, you may.
So good evening, gentlemen. Fantastic presentation. I always love to see the engineers out here. I noticed that the total cost for the fiscal bill is about $1,800. This is to either you or anybody who can really answer. Have you guys requested an allocation by any chance, at any point?
So we just last week submitted an allocation before a different project, our human powered vehicle project. And that one we requested a total of $2,700 from the allocation. So we have our other 1,000 of the allocation reserved for another event. So we decided to submit a bill for this one. Yes.
Yes.
All right. So thank you for that clarification. And my second question is, are you or any officers within your RSO familiar with the post-fighting procedures?
Can you specify what you mean by that?
So, Madam Chair, if I may. So the post-funding procedures are the steps that you'll be taking after your bill is approved, should it be approved. So there's a few steps to it. So first and foremost, regarding your handling with the funds, you need to make sure that you spend at least, contribute at least 95% of your half of the fiscal legislation. So 95% of $900 as well. And you need to utilize at least 80% of the funds that student government provides you. You also need to make sure that you have your purchases on your end cataloged through the verification of purchases forms. It's a fancy way of saying you need to keep all your receipts and submit them through a document on Senate's Night Connect. And then, of course, you need to make sure that you use the SG funds up to the certain date as specified in the legislation, which is the 16th of May, 2024. You need to make sure that your verification of purchases form is in by the 22nd of May, 2024.
Gotcha.
All good?
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's all.
Are there any other questions or motion? Chair Lazo.
Motion to move to debate.
There's a motion to move to debate. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we're in debate. Do we have any debate? You're gonna have to remind me of your last name. Blanca, okay. I know people's first names, but not their last name.
Well, okay. So I'm definitely supportive. It really appeals to me. I like the fact that you guys mentioned that it caters to a lot of multiple disciplines within the engineering field. I think that's wonderful and that sounds very encouraging. I like that you guys are able to, meet professionals, exchange knowledge with one another. And also, I just wanted to say that I think 5th place out of 20 competitors is outstanding. It seems like you guys know what you guys are doing, and so I'm in supportive.
Thank you.
Is there any other debate? You're gonna have to remind me of your last name as well. Freehaver? Okay.
So obviously I'll be in support. I actually went to high school with Jake, so hi, good to see you again. It's been a while. But yeah, no, I mean, the club knows what they're talking about. I know he's really passionate about engineering. We took physics together because I thought I was going to be an engineer for a little bit, but obviously College of Sciences, so that didn't stick. But yeah, I encourage you all to vote and support. It really seems like they know what they're doing. So yeah.
Is there any other debate? Vice Chair Kringle.
Move to vote.
There's a motion to move to voting. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we are now in voting procedure. With a vote count of 27 to 0, fiscal bill 5538 passes on second reading. Fiscal bill 5539, Deeser Mittal. Oh, are you representing your RSO?
Yeah.
You have 5 minutes.
About it. Wait, am I allowed to do that?
No, you can.
Oh, okay, cool.
You just didn't say anything. You just got up, so I was
Sorry.
confused.
Yeah, sorry.
You have 5 minutes whenever you're ready.
Give me a second. Okay. Hello. So, hi everyone. I'm here requesting funding for the service learning trip, which is our second year doing this. This year we're going to Cusco, Peru. If any of you guys were here last session, well, actually it was at the beginning of the session. We went to Ecuador. So this is our second year doing it. And we're hoping to make it a bit of a tradition. Okay, next. Oh wait, is there control? How do I get to the next slide? Oh, okay. So who we are, we're MedLife. We're a pre-health, pre-med club on campus. We focus a lot on service and education among low-income areas, both here in Orlando and internationally. So every semester, pretty much, we have thousands of hours of service in the Central Florida area. We do everything from eyeglass clinics to working at milk banks to working with at-risk children in downtown and providing like an after-school program for them. So we do a lot of service here, and MedLife itself is an international organization. So what they specialize in is going to local areas and using infrastructure that's already set up in that area, as opposed to bringing in their own infrastructure. And they're able to provide lasting impact for a lot of indigenous populations, which is the main target of this SLT. Next. Okay, so the location, we're going to Cusco, Peru, which is the ancient capital of the Incan Empire. So there's a very large indigenous population there. For many individuals that live there, this is their only form of preventative care or medical help, because a lot of them live in very hard to access areas where without like the ability to transport themselves. So for a lot of people, when we go and see the cases there, they have very, very like obvious illnesses and things that would make you like, go to the doctor here, but they don't have that capability there. So a lot of times you'll see some mismanagement of illnesses, and a lot of times that can make things worse. So going in, basically being able to provide care for these people is very necessary, and in some cases very life-saving. So next. Benefits to UCF. So international service is always a big thing. And additionally, the big thing is all of our members are future healthcare professionals. So that could be anything from pre-med to nursing to PA school to even dentistry. So the hands-on skill development for the students is like incomparable. We attach pictures of, this is what our trip looked like last year, but you're quite literally seeing the patients. A lot of times you're performing diagnostic exams as well. There's things from pharmacy to actually seeing clinical cases. So you also are very exposed to indigenous populations, and you expand your cultural mindset, which is really good, because it kind of helps you want to provide service when you're older, and when you're a actual healthcare professional where you can make a bigger impact. You want to kind of give back to your community. And then another thing we do, which I kind of forgot to mention, is you actually build a house for a migrant population there. So all of the groups throughout the week build a house. So it was pretty cool that we also get to do some physical labor as well and kind of provide a lasting impact. Next. Okay, so our numbers. So we have 18 people traveling. Registration is $1,400. Flights are $960.55. So cost per person is $2,360, and that's the estimated cost. And then so we're asking for half of that. Next. Uh, yeah, you. Okay, so it kind of is really small, but all the way on the left side is the registration cost. I kind of just attached what the invoice is. Sorry, what happened? Okay, thank you. And this is the itinerary, which if I mean I should basically we're working throughout the week. We get there on Saturday. We do like a basically a reality tour is considered like you go into the population and you meet with community leaders and basically understand what the health problems are among the population and basically what cases you're going to see most often during the week. And then throughout the week you do 4 clinical days and then 1 day that's going to be a day where you're going and building the house and you're working pretty much all day, and all the clinical days are pretty much sun up to sundown. And then Saturday, we do like a tour, which tends to give back to the local economy. And then Sunday, we go back home. And then next, I think there's one more slide. Yeah, and this is a flight. I'm done.
Okay. Are there any questions? Chair Temple.
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember here, but with this request from the RSO, wouldn't they be put over the $25,000 cap for RSOs regarding fiscal legislation? I'm trying to get racked out of my head, and this is to anybody who can answer the question, because it looks like from the suggestions that were made, it would put them at well over 28,000 in their total request.
Like in this bill or?
And from the legislation, I would be open to any answers or further clarification from the DLEG or anybody who's willing to answer.
I don't know if you have an answer, Dan.
From my knowledge, 25,000 for like Senate bills is their maximum for the year, and they have already allocated like 6,949 from an allocation and their first fiscal bill, which is the first one we saw for the session. So they would be, with our contribution, over their amount. I had a different amendment to their number.
Yeah, I just changed the numbers before this because we just got a quote. So
So we probably we have to redo the numbers.
yeah. Okay. Good.
Is there a motion to move to debate? We're now in debate. Chair Temple.
Move the table this fiscal bill.
There's a motion to table this fiscal bill. Are there any objections? Oh, Chair Similo.
Not necessarily an objection, but a question.
You may.
Directed to Temple.
You may.
Why are we tabling it?
Just so we can get a more concrete answer with the numbers, because I remember that we had a cap for $25,000, but
Chair Similo.
We do have a cap, and I do have the new numbers already.
Oh,
so
okay.
if we didn't want to table it, I could just in debate do my motion and put all the numbers in.
Yeah. Do you know the numbers? Is it with the reduction in people as well, or is it just?
It's based off of how much they can be allocated, period. It doesn't matter about how many people at all, because they've already been allocated the 6949.24. So all they have left of the 25,000 would be 18,050 and 76 cents. So that's all they can be given, period. End of discussion.
Is there a motion? Chair Temple.
pursuant to the request of the RSO representative, move to table this legislation.
There's a motion to table this legislation. Are there any objections? Oh my God. Seeing none, we have tabled this bill. We're now on to Fiscal Bill 5540. Senator Federico is not here, but I believe the RSO is here. If you guys are ready to present, you can just come up here.
Yeah. Good evening. I'm Shreya, and I'm the Sergeant at Arms for Pre-Med AMSA this year, and I'll also be group leader for our service learning trip.
And then my name is Keyshawn Visnagra. I am the treasurer for Pre-Med AMSA.
So Pre-Med AMSA is focused on providing opportunities to better prepare pre-med students to become a well-rounded physician. So participating in the service learning trip is just one way our members are able to do that. So during our trip this year to Cusco, Peru from May 4th to 12th, our members will be able to work hand in hand with local communities in Peru on developmental projects and mobile medical clinics in underserved areas of Peru. The trip would allow our volunteers to understand the realities of extreme poverty firsthand. They'll also be able to shadow local medical professionals and work alongside community members on a developmental project that is oftentimes geared towards improving the infrastructure and the outcomes of underserved areas in Peru. They'll also be able to connect their field experiences that they're experiencing working with physicians and volunteering in mobile clinics to academic themes through educational discussions. And they'll learn to become a global citizen and learn how to advocate for social issues both locally and abroad. So during the mobile clinic stations where our members will be volunteering for a large duration of the trip, they'll be working on triaging patients, working on improving patient education on how to better manage their symptoms, and moreover, just how to educate patients to better take care of themselves. There'll be an OB/GYN station, a general medicine station, a pharmacy, a dental, and a toothbrushing station. And basically, our volunteers will be able to gain hands-on clinical experience in each of these areas. This is our trip itinerary. So you can see for a large duration of our trip, we'll be volunteering in mobile clinics, going on the reality tour where they'll be able to understand the issues that face Cusco, Peru and their citizens and how to better help them. And then our project will be focused on day 6, where they'll be working with local community members and MedLife as a whole to improve and work on developmental projects to improve outcomes for citizens in Peru. And then our optional tour would be Saturday, and then we would go back home on day 8.
So for the registration costs, it is about $1,450 per person. We have a picture of the invoice on the right. We are requesting funding for 15 students total. So total registration will be around $21,750. We can go to the next slide. The travel costs will be through, we are flying there. The updated quote is $960.50 per person. Once again, for 15 members, the total travel cost will be $14,407.50. And our proposed itinerary is on the right side. And then if we go to the last slide, we have our total costs. So the total trip cost for the 15 members we are requesting funding for is $36,157.50. The total requested cost from Senate will be $18,079. I think that's it. Does anyone have any questions?
Are there any questions? Chair Temple.
Oh, good evening, you two. Just a quick question. So first and foremost, 2 questions, if I may.
You may.
Does your RSO have 2 financially trained officers?
Yes.
Awesome. Are they and/or other members of your RSO familiar with the post-funding procedures that are incumbent upon you?
Yes, I am.
Follow up.
You may.
Can you provide a few of the steps regarding the post-funding procedures to me, please?
Yes. So after, of course, we get the bill approved, we get in contact with the AES&F office. From there, we do finalize our final purchasing procedures, purchase it through them, as well as go through our payment side of it as well. Once we do that, we then have to, when the trip occurs, we take our receipts, we do submit them for the Senate to make sure that we have spent I believe it's 80% of the Senate total budget that we get. And then from us, it's 90 or 95%. I think it's 95.
Yep. Just a quick clarification.
Yes.
Yes, that is pretty much all of it. And just to put a finer point on that last point, it's 95%.
Perfect, 95. All right.
But on that, thank you.
Are there any other questions? Seeing none, is there a motion? Vice Chair Kringle.
Motion to debate.
There's a motion to move to debate. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we're now in debate. Is there any debate? ELA Richmond.
It's good. Vote in favor.
Well, I think there's a bunch.
Oh, what?
I think there's some changes in the documents. I know some numbers are different. Is it just updated flight numbers?
We updated, we took off one of the traveling members from 16 to 15. So we updated that from our, I think it was the original bill.
I'll see them all as technicals. Chair Temple.
The clarification question.
Yes.
Did you say that you went from 15 to 16 or from 16 to 15?
Sorry, 16 to 15.
Understood. Okay.
Brody, I'll see the number changes on the documents as technicals. Has anyone from fiscal leadership been able to verify the numbers? Okay. Is there a motion? Actually, I won't see it. I think the splitting is wrong on the bill. But it can be cents. Like you can have 50 cents each.
It's like 75 cents. Like when you buy it, it's like something 75 for each. The club and the center.
Oh, like you just round it. Yeah. Okay. That sounds good.
Chair Temple.
Yeah, when I made the calculations, it comes out to be a perfect split between 75 because total amount is 36,157.50. When I did the math, it turned out to 18,078.75. So that can be a perfect split, 50-50 between the RSO and the student body senate. So I'm making those adjustments now.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Here, somebody beat me to the punch.
Brody, I'll see those as technicals.
Thanks, Brody.
Is there a motion, Chair Temple?
Mayor Ratain?
Yes, you may.
Yep, bill looks good. Numbers look cleaned up.
Actually, sorry.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that.
Brody's making one more change.
Yep, I see it. All right.
Okay, perfect. We can go.
Mayor Ratain?
Mm-hmm.
Bill looks good, I think. All right, third time's the charm there. Yeah, and I believe we've sent them to Peru or closer, or pretty close South American countries, and it's always a fun experience to travel. Honestly, quite jealous of that. But in any case, let's put them one step further. Let's move to vote on Fiscal Bill 5540.
There's a motion to vote on Fiscal Bill 5540. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we're now in voting procedure. With a vote count of 26 to 0, Fiscal Bill 5540 passes on second reading. And with that, we go to internal committee caucus time. Black caucus, 20 minutes. I'll recess. Oh, sorry.
Question to the CRT chair before we move to caucus.
Yes, you may.
Chair Smillo, are the numbers for Fiscal Bill 5539 corrected?
Yes, I have them.
All right.
Okay, do you want to take them off? Chair Temple.
Move to return to fiscal bill 5539.
There's a motion to return to fiscal bill 5539. Are there any objections? Seeing none, you can just come up. Oh, Chair Smillo.
So I'm kind of just gonna explain how I got what I got. I had Maddie resend me fiscal bill 5501. So we ended up allocating actually, first, can I have you go on the bill and like say yes to everything so that I can refix it? Because it's a mess and I can't see anything on here. Is that possible? And then I can just go in and change it. I guess I should ask Akila. Akila, can we approve everything on the bill and then I can go change it all?
Yes, I'll see them as technicals.
Okay.
I also had a question, Brody. Was the money that they got from the last fiscal year or this fiscal year?
It's this fiscal year. It's
Oh.
5501.
Oh, you're correct. I forgot.
Okay, so from fiscal bill 5501, there was a total allocation of $6,597.50. So I'm going to change that. And then I just took that amount and subtracted it by the 25,000. And then I took that amount that was left and I multiplied it by 2 to get the total amount that we can give them. And then for registration, I ended up getting 25,200. And then for travel, I got 644.72 times 18 to give them enough money. I just took the travel up so that way because it's going to get closer. So tickets tend to go up in price. So I gave them the higher amount. And yeah, so I'm going to go through and change all the numbers now. But that was kind of just to explain how I got it.
Do you like Danny? Or more said, sorry.
Question to CRT chair.
You may.
Did you for the last whereas clause, did you only did the 65 from the bill? Because I think the 69 was including one of their allocations.
MedLife, they don't have an allocation from CRT unless they did from FAO.
I think it was from FAO, but I'll recheck.
Okay. Yeah, if you just want to let me know what the amount from FAO is, and then I can add that in.
Do we want to table this and see it after Black Caucus? Chair Temple.
Move to table this fiscal bill 5539.
Motion to table fiscal bill 5539. Are there any objections? Seeing none, it's been tabled. Internal committee caucus time. Black Caucus 20 minutes. I motion to move to recess at 8:43 p.m. and return at 9:03 p.m.
Make your way out, please.
welcome. Now it's for you. And whatever. I put a date on it, yeah. It was the same with the numbers. You were so. I did it 3 times before. I say that. Okay, you have to take off Yeah, so we're actually, And I'll be there right after. I have an 8:30 class. I have 8:30 You're all just good. I'm gonna like send it to get posted tomorrow night. I can't do it physically, we have to go through like the channel. It should be on We'll just have like tables out for you guys and you can just like set up. And if it opens at 5:30 and we have to set up, you can get it everywhere. Well, you told me. My bad. Oh, back to my turn. It's same as initial. Thank you. I'm actually done on time. I know, like, last time was so busted. Which one? Oh, yeah. Oh my God. No more kings. Why do you divide it and then give 50? Divide it in half. No, you can't. Why there's both zero zero? Like the numbers are.
I was trying to say I know the funny parts are coming up.
Yeah. Oh my God, no, you missed it. I want you to tell me and log in and you can get all the numbers up. I want you to get. He said the duck party sounds like it's political.
Wait, is this like?
Yeah, they're like. I'm not tell you like the feeling lost past. This is a really important knowledge.
Wait, so who's trying to get us to allocate money towards funds?
Yeah. I like the guy like that. Why would
I reconvene this meeting at 9:10 p.m. Is there a motion to pick fiscal bill 5539 off the table? We are now in fiscal bill 5539. Probably debate. Is there any debate? Chair Samillo.
Motion to see my amendments as a block.
Motion to see the amendments on the document as a block. I think I can just see them as technicals. Oh wait. Yeah, I'll see them as technicals.
Okay, I was gonna explain it, but I've had.
Oh,
enough
okay.
time.
You can just explain it now, like in debate.
Oh, okay. I just did the math. That's it. Math is cool. Cool math. If you guys remember that game, cool math. Play cool math. All right. Yeah, they're all correct though. And I did talk to Gus Bus and he said it was good. So with that, may I make a motion?
I'll see them as technicals, and once they're accepted on the document, you can.
Motion to move to voting procedure.
Brody, it's fine if we move to voting before like it's confirmed on the document, right? Okay. There's a motion to move to voting. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we are now in voting. With a vote count of 27 to 0, fiscal bill 5539 passes on second reading. Internal committee reports, ENA committee. Chair DeCara.
We were actually going to caucus tonight, but the confirming actually came up to me and was like, they were doing EC, and they were like, actually, I want to run for Senate, and that coincides. So they're actually running for Senate now instead of being ECer. So go Senate on that. 5513 did get vetoed. I know we all got the email about it. I'll be looking at it again and seeing. I'll be meeting with President Greenaway and Supervisor Myers more a little bit about it just to make sure. I know we're gonna wait till like after. We don't need to deal with it right now. And then any Title VI stuff, ideas or concerns, please let me know, and I can help you in any way I can.
Brody, can I ask a question? I know that President Greenaway said that he wasn't accepting any more applicants. I didn't know if this would apply. Like no more appointments. Like he closed them.
What do you mean for the
For Senate?
No, like running for Senate. As an ECer, you cannot run for Senate, like as in like campaigning at the same time as you as an ECer.
Oh,
and
okay.
the person was like, I want to run for Senate next session, and I can't do that as an ECer, so they dropped the EC.
Okay, thank you for clarifying. I was confused. GAP committee, Chair Temple.
Good evening, everybody. GAP didn't meet last week because it was at my discretion to give the committee a break from Day at the Capitol, and I had an exam to study for, and everybody else had exams to study for too. But we did meet this past Monday, to briefly discuss future plans moving forward regarding what GAP will do. And the short run of it is GAP will be focusing its efforts on the upcoming 2024 presidential election. Yes, that election. That's riveting. I'm going to try not to break down here about that. But moving forward, we're going to be intensifying our research efforts around that election with respect to Florida. So it's so all the candidates that are going to be appearing on the Florida ballot with respect to UCF in particular. And we're going to be doing this in order to set up the 56th Sessions GAP Committee, and so they're able to kind of get the jump on preparing the resources for this election, because it is an extremely important election. And I don't want the last of this next committee to kind of fall behind on that, while it's also trying to juggle the capital as well. So we're gonna spend the rest of our time in GAP focusing on that, and anybody who wants to be involved in it as well can join GAP. We do meet Mondays at 3:30. Yes, that's the time. Sorry, lots have been happening in the past few weeks. And of course, my fact of the day is in 1898, the USS Maine is sunk in the harbor of Havana, Cuba. The United States, and more specifically the major newspapers at the time, had blamed Cuba and by extension Spain, as Cuba was a Spanish colony at the time and thus declared war on Madrid, therefore beginning the Spanish-American War. It would, as it turns out, be the fault of internal engine issues on the USS Maine that led to the Maine sinking, and not, as was alleged at the time, Spanish saboteurs. That is all.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Seeing none, LGR committee. Is there anyone from the committee here? Chair DeKira.
I guess they're both not here, but I guess I'll read it. I don't know if we could do that. Yeah. Chair Almontelli is not here today, but here are their announcements. LGR met today to see 7 absences and discuss potential amendments and improvements to a block of 3 pieces of legislation concerning the roles of caucuses in Senate and student government. That's all the absence requests. One was postponed, the rest were approved. I'm not doing a day in history. I'll just yield it to Chair Temple to read it.
Hey. All right. So on the 15th of February, 438 CE, not doing AD. In the time of the Roman Empire, Emperor Theodosius II publishes a new legal code known as the Codex Theodosianus, a compilation and standardization of laws under Christian emperors since 312 CE, and would take effect in eastern and western parts of the empire in 439. That's all.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Seeing none, SBA Committee Chair Hamid.
Hello, everyone. I hope you're having a good night, especially with whatever's in the air. So these past 2 weeks, we've been completing our dining proposals. Unfortunately, our dining meeting was rescheduled to next week, but we're all really excited to collaborate on some new UCF projects. So I'll hopefully have some cool updates next meeting. Also, shout out to SBA for really putting her on to those proposals. I think they're all amazing. We also adopted Proclamation 5514 in committee, which passed. Also, to my lovely SBA members, or anyone who wants to table in general for Senate, make sure you go table with the Black Caucus tomorrow. If your availability has changed, please contact Chair Daedalus ASAP, please. Or if you just want to table for Senate, you don't have to be a part of SBA, please go. It's really amazing to table. Also, happy birthday, ILA Pullman. I will say it again.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Seeing none, confirmations none, internal legislation, notice of legislation on first reading, internal bill 5515, remanded to LJR, resolutions 5526, remanded to LJR, notice of legislation on third reading, bills, internal bill 5514. Chair DeKira, is there a motion for speeches, questioning, and debate? Vice Chair Kringle.
Motion for 5 minute speeches, 5 minute questioning, 5 minute debate.
There's a motion for 555. Are there any objections? Seeing none, Chair DeKira, you have 5 minutes whenever you're ready.
We saw this last week. It did get amended. My original idea was it says where who shall have full debating rights but not voting rights. Originally it was full debating and voting rights. But that was changed. I'm still, on the idea of that it could go back to that, but it's up to y'all. But yeah, this is more a way of ENA and Election Commission working together a bit better. It keeps us collaborating and ensures that, the transparency between each other, because we do work with election statutes, the only one. And so they're also in the process of that. And also we're in the process of their stuff just to make sure that, everything they do is they're following our stuff. But yeah, this is a really big transparency thing and a big communication aspect. But yeah, I reeled the rest of my time.
We are now in questioning. Are there any questions? Or a motion? D. Legmore said.
Motion move to debate.
There's a motion to move to debate. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we're now in debate. Is there any debate? Vice Chair Duke.
Hey, I actually really like this.
I think that we should probably keep it as no voting rights for right now, and if we want to come back to it, we can in the future. But overall, I actually really like this, and I think everyone else should vote in favor for it.
Is there any other debate? Or if there's no other debate, is there a motion? Senator Polera,
Motion to see my amendment.
motion to see your amendments. Oh, I just loaded. Okay. There's a motion to see the one amendment on the page. Are there any objections? Is there a speech, questioning, and debate time for the amendment? Chair Lazo.
Can we do 3 minutes speech, 5-minute debate, and 5-minute questioning, 5-minute debate?
Yes, there's a motion for 355. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we are now in speech. Whenever you're ready.
Hello, Senate. I know this was a little controversial last time we were talking about this. I just wanted to go ahead and try it again because I feel that the supervisor should have voting rights. I believe that the that with voting rights, anything that the supervisor of elections would not be right to vote on, she would just, or whoever the supervisor of elections would be, would just abstain. And I believe in the goodwill of whoever is going to be the next supervisor of elections. I also believe that the knowledge that the supervisor of elections bring is very valuable. So for that, those reasons, I am adding this amendment. I yield the remainder of my time.
We are now in questioning. Are there any questions? Chair Simillo?
I believe we stated that there was going to be a little kiki over the week to figure out if everyone was in agreement with voting and not voting. Did that happen? Were people talked to? Is this what we came up with? I just want to have an update.
Do you want to point your question to someone? I don't know anything
Either
about that.
Grace or Aiden. Either way.
Is there a motion? Oh.
Yeah, like originally, like we said the same thing. Like as I just said in my speech too, like it's the same thing we had, because I remember when we brought it back, it was like the better than nothing, and that was very much like kind of like not better than nothing. It's not like a we're fine with what it is. It's kind of like we wanted what it originally was. It was like this wasn't like a short little conversation I did have with Supervisor Myers. Like when I was like writing this, I did have like a good long time where like, is this really worth it? And it's it's a little bit right here. It is like has very like lasting impacts that could definitely help both election commission and us. So yeah, like we, it happened again, and me and her talked again. We're like, we don't want this, and so I was, I'm not going to make the amendment, but someone did, and I'm not going to oppose that because you guys as senators have the right, the ability to do that. So yeah, like that's why I didn't oppose it. Senator Polera had an amendment, and that's their right to do that. So yeah, but we did talk, and we were very much still in favor of it going back to what everything was, but we're not going to go against Senate just because they changed it.
Are there any other? Chair Simillo, is this a follow-up? No. Vice Chair Duke?
I was just gonna ask, sorry if you already said it, but what was the original reasoning for changing it to not have voting rights? If you can maybe elaborate on that a little bit more.
I didn't change it to not have voting rights. I originally had it as debating and voting rights, but I think it was Chair Yalman-Chile that had the original thing. I think it was like a thing about power and the federal government, something like that. But I don't know I can't really speak for them. I don't know who can speak for them technically. So
Chair Temple, were you one of those people?
Oh, you was Senator Brown for this one.
Yeah, so when we discussed this last time, the whole reason for amending it to not have voting rights was because the election commissioner, or that's the title, right? yeah. So the election commissioner wasn't elected by the student body, and those that spoke against the amendment to, or that were speaking for the amendment to not have voting rights, all kind of seem to reiterate that somebody who wasn't elected by the student body shouldn't have the same rights as a senator who was elected by the student body. If I recall correctly, Chair Yala Machile was talking about just how it affects the checks and balances of our student government. So, yeah.
Chair Similo?
Move to debate.
There's a motion to move to debate. Are there any objections? Oh, Grace? Brody, I don't really know protocol. I think if you can yield.
Any senator can yield to somebody else with consent of the Senate.
Okay. Chair Similo.
I wasn't going to yield to you yet. I was going to talk. Do you want to talk first? Okay. So I feel like we've kind of talked over this enough last week, and I honestly don't think there's much more to debate. I think we should just vote on the amendment, and then figure it out from there. But yeah, I'll yield to Grace Myers.
So I just wanted to speak on the argument of you not being directly voted in by a student and how that some people believe that's an abuse of power, where there are many senators in this room sitting here who were not directly voted in by the students. They were appointed by the president, and then y'all approved them, which most of that body was directly voted in by students. Same process goes for the election commission, for the executive council. All of that is like taken through ENA and then through the full body Senate. So saying that the students don't really have a voice in that is confusing and contradictory to me personally. But yeah, I agree that we pretty much yapped about this for an hour last week. So I'm not really sure if any minds are going to be changed here, but yeah, I would just like y'all to keep an open mind. As the election commission, we come in with the same like student body advocacy and like open mindset. Like we want to help students just as much as y'all do. So I also just kind of am asking for y'all to look at us like we're a similar body as y'all.
Teaser Mittal, and then I'll go Chair Similo and then Senator Brown.
Yeah, I just want to second that opinion. I think we've had this problem before when we talked about the Sergeant of Arms thing. But I mean, we are elected by the student body, and if we appoint the like commissioner of elections, then I mean, it's kind of similar to how the government works, is it not? Like, I don't know. I'm pre-med. I don't really know much about the government, but I by my understanding, that's kind of how it works. So I think that if we go down the path of, oh, the student body isn't directly electing them, then I think that becomes really convoluted. And like, is it really feasible to do that? So I think that we should just take it at face value in that we are representatives of the student body first and foremost. And so, and we should be acting within good faith of what we think our constituents would want. So therefore, anybody that we may appoint should therefore be representative of what the student body would want appointed, or who the student body would want appointed.
Yeah, I mean, it's been brought back up. Obviously, we started with something, then it ended with something else, and now we're back at what we started with. So I just want everybody to kind of keep that in mind, that it's kind of going back and forth for a reason. Obviously, people are feeling strongly about this, and to kind of just hear what people have to say. That's all I have to say.
So my opinion is the same as the last time we saw this. And the last time we saw this, we passed the bill with the amendment to not have voting rights. So as a majority in Senate, we did vote against the election commissioner having voting rights. So it is kind of funny to see it again, us voting on the original bill. But I just wanted to, just restate what I said the last time we were doing this. I know that good faith is great, and I'm sure that every election commissioner we've had and will have will be there to serve the students, but they're not a part of the legislative branch, and they are not their direct purpose isn't to specifically advocate for those in their college. They're more of just acting in good faith for students at UCF. And like I said last time, while I think it's great to have trust in one another, I still think that things can go wrong, and I don't think that we should have that overlap between the executive branch or the election commission and the legislative branch. So I will not be voting in favor of this amendment.
Before we continue, is there a motion to extend debate time? Chair Lazo?
Motion to extend by 3 minutes.
By 3 minutes. Are there any objections? Okay, seeing none. 3 more minutes. I'm gonna go Chair DeCara, Chair Temple, and then Chair Lazo.
I want to say something. The amendment vote was actually 11-16-3, so it wasn't even a majority. It was technically even a kind of like 50-50 in a sense, because amendment, I'm not, you were allowed to abstain, but still 11-16 is still in a sense with the abstains close, so it wasn't even a full majority. So I just do want to clarify that was the vote.
I thought the vote was 14-13.
I'm looking at the agenda.
Question to Brody.
Yeah, you may.
Brody, what was the vote for the amendment from the last Senate meeting when this was brought up? Because
I also do think.
Because if I may.
Yeah.
If I may, because if it were 11 to what Chair DeCara had said, then those amendments would still be in the legislation. It passed on a simple majority in the second reading. So that means then that the majority of the Senate had spoken on these amendments, and it was shown that the Senate did not want these. Yes, it was by a very slim margin, but the bill went on to pass by a vote count of 26-4, 9, one of those two numbers. But it was an overwhelming majority of the Senate. But the bigger point to the fact is I will also be voting against these amendments because I agree with what Senator Brown had said. But in a more practical sense as well, if we are to be giving a non-senator from a different entity within student government voting rights, then that could open the door for allowing executive members to have voting rights on Senate committees as well, which would itself be a far greater breach in checks and balances within each committee as well. For example, governmental affairs coordinator having a vote on legislation going through GAP, or the attorney general having a far greater say and potential far more significant sway with a vote in LJR. Don't get me wrong, the bill here is good, but I would vehemently caution against providing voting rights at this current time. And as I believe Vice Chair Duke had said, if we are to revisit this question down the road, we have every right as a body to do that. But that is at the question of future sessions to decide. For now, I would suggest, I personally would lobby for having just full debating rights at the moment and see where the impact of these positions of the supervisor of elections being on the committee goes from here, and whether or not such voting rights to be warranted in the future, near term and long term.
Due to the amount of hands, can we extend voting time by a larger amount?
I was actually gonna do a motion to have unlimited debate time just because there was a
do you
lot
want
of
to make that motion?
motion for unlimited debate.
There's a motion for unlimited debate. Are there any objections? Senator Rose objects to you Chair Rose objects. Do you withdraw?
No.
No. Do you object or withdraw? Okay, pro con. Okay, so Chair Rose goes first. You'll have a minute to speak about why you're objecting, and then Chair Lazo will, and then we'll vote pro the objection or con the original action or motion. So 1 minute whenever you're ready.
Yeah, so I feel like we've really discussed this in depth last time we saw it, and we're not going to be changing too many minds. That's pretty much it.
I'm actually going to be obviously in the negation of that, just because based on how many hands are going up, obviously it's still a point of contention. And secondly, there's a lot of misinformation going about, and also just the things that are being blatantly misread or just interpreted incorrectly. So I do think it is that we need to give other senators in the room the chance to speak their mind, as is obviously a hot topic of debate.
With that, we move to voting, correct? Chair Hamid?
Can you clarify who's who on the yes
Okay,
and no?
pro will be Chair Rose, which is that we won't see extra time, or we won't make it unlimited time. There's still a minute left, but we won't have unlimited time. Or we won't have unlimited time. And then con is Chair Lazo's, where we will have unlimited time.
And then just to clarify, pro is yes, con is no. Just for people like on the voting button. Just to
Yes,
clarify that.
yes. Pro is yes. So yes, no unlimited time, no unlimited time. No, yes, unlimited time. With a vote count of 15 to 11 to 0, there is no unlimited time. We have a minute left. I believe it was Lazo, and then I'll have Chair Hamid, and I think Myers might want you to yield.
I'll just make it quick. First of all, the supervisor of elections deserves to have their own position simply because this is going to be a checks and balances issue. Currently, they have zero voice, zero position. They aren't even acknowledged by certain members in the Senate as a body in our student government. And also, I honestly don't even think we need to be arguing the issue of power. It's not like they're voting in our Senate. They're voting in E&A. They are voting in one committee. And they honestly have so much influence and so much power that they do need to have that voice represented. And I yield to Supervisor Myers.
I would like to note the take that Temple had. If we opt to leave this for future Senate bodies, that would just be no progress. As the past 2 years, we have had gracious E&A chairs who have allowed us to debate in E&A, but technically, I just don't see that being an argument for that, as we have had permission to debate by the previous chairs and the current chair.
As time's up, is there a motion to extend Deeser Mittal?
Motion to extend by 2 minutes.
There's a motion to extend by 2 minutes. Are there any objections? Seeing none. 2 more minutes. Oh, Brody?
I just wanted to clarify. Ethan had asked for clarification on the vote for the last amendment. I did look. It was 14 to 13 to 1.
Thank you. And then you can continue speaking, Grace. Oh, you're done? Okay. I think said Chair Hamid. Who else wanted to raise their hand? D-Leg Morissette, and then Eli Richmond.
I was just raising my hand to increase the time.
Oh, you want to make a motion right now?
We already did it, so
I'm
we're
sorry.
good.
Okay. D-Leg Morissette.
I was gonna. Can I direct a question to either E&A chair?
You may.
I don't know if this is possible, actually. So, the first part of my question, I don't know if Pro Tempore tomorrow can answer it. Could we reserve their voting rights for only issues that pertain to the election commission? So, if it's voting for a senator or a justice seat, they wouldn't have voting rights. But if it's directed to the election commission, would they have voting rights?
I think that's where we actually had that conversation, and it just a lot of times as we as senators and it's just normal people when it comes to voting procedures, when it does have a conflict of interest in some way, you just abstain. And there's certain times where yes, they're going to speak, and yes, they do understand that there's time for them to step aside and abstain. I abstain majority of the time because it's just even though I may truly absolutely want to vote for that person, I just have the inherent understanding as chair. And I was if I were later on, if I had a conflict of interest, I would abstain. That's just as senators, know how procedures work. We have it in our stuff. They know to abstain because of conflict of interest or any other ways. But yeah, it's very much the idea to abstain is was what we vote, we decided on.
You can probably add it in the bill if you'd like, in debating and voting rights on non-appointment business or something like that. There's 6 seconds. So is there a motion? Chair Hamid?
Motion to extend by 3 minutes.
There's a motion to extend by 3 minutes. Are there any objections? Okay, seeing none.
I have a follow up. I can ask
You may.
Okay, if that's the case, is there also I don't know if this discussion between you two, would it be more helpful, not more helpful in terms of like business, but just for like the Senate body in the terms, would it be more helpful to have the voting rights for the entirety of like the Senate session, or would like the Senate body be more acclimated to only having it towards the election cycle? So like this, like January, their voting rights would kind of be implemented. I don't know if that's also something you can do or not.
Well, that like I feel in my opinion that would depend when you do it like a session. Like I'll say and then I'll yield over to like they do come in at a different time. They're not like the first person to come in. They do come a little bit later on, and let's say like hypothetically we're voting on election statutes and they weren't able to vote on that, or let's say like designated to a certain period of time. It's like what happens outside of that period of time when it comes to stuff that could have affected them and they could have had their ability to speak and vote. That just becomes an issue right there. Is just like when we designate to just a certain period of time, it limits the ability for like us as the Senate just go, oh, we're just gonna do stuff out of your time of voting, like this period of voting. I can yield the rest of my time to Supervisor Myers.
Yeah, I wouldn't see any point in putting a time constraint on it. However, I do absolutely agree that we should just be able to vote. I personally would add the election commission appointees once the supervisor is elected, if y'all are open to that, but I absolutely agree that we should probably only be voting on Title VI. But yeah, I don't see any point of putting a time constraint on that, because at that point it's just punishing the supervisor or the election commission from putting in or sponsoring bills ahead of time. So just doing it during the election cycle also wouldn't affect their current like term. So I think that would be counterproductive.
Eli Richmond?
I kind of agree with what Grace just said. I don't really like the idea of having time constraints, but I would definitely be favorable of an amendment, because my biggest concern is why would they just abstain? Like that's just, I don't know, it seems counterintuitive to me. And further, like it's just like I'm a little uncertain because, as it's been pointed out, the GAC and the AG, they don't vote, but I think it makes more sense that they vote on things that directly impact them, like these titles. So.
We have 41 seconds. Is there a motion? Okay, Chair Lazo.
Would also just welcome back. I also just want to clarify about the whole voting thing. The reason why I was probably 21-6-2 is because there was absolutely nothing in amendments that gave any sort of attention at all to election commission. And I remember Supervisor Myers literally saying she'll take whatever she can get because it's that desperate for any sort of voice. So let's sprinkle that in, so that might just, influence how we think about that matter.
Chair Temple and then Chair Sanillo.
A question to either the ENA chair or the supervisor of elections.
Yes, if you have a motion to extend the time.
Move to extend by 5 minutes.
There's a motion to extend by 5 minutes. Are there any objections? Seeing none.
In the time between the last time we heard this legislation and today, have you talked with the Attorney General on this matter?
Attorney General was in favor. I actually, the first time I first proposed this and I spoke to her, she actually was in favor of this one. And actually, I'll say that she did actually, the Women's Election Commission, she was like a little bit iffy about that. She wanted to talk more about it, but we just didn't talk. We weren't able to because we both had our own things. But when I first mentioned to her and I showed her, she actually was in favor of the first one of election commissioner having debating and voting rights within. You can ask her, like I actually was like, I was thinking about this before I even remanded or even proposed it. I talked to her about it, and she said she was in favor.
Chair Sanillo?
I put on the thing, I said any business except for confirmations, we could either do that or any business regarding Title VI. I know that there was some conversation, so whichever one works, whichever one tickles y'all's fancy, but I wrote both of them. So if we want to look at them, and
I think the author of the amendment would have to accept it as a friendly amendment because we're debating on the amendment itself right now.
Okay.
So it's up to Senator Polera if you want to accept Chair Sanillo's amendment as a friendly amendment. Which just means like you're okay with it and you can just combine your amendments.
Yeah, I accept.
Okay. So now we'll be voting on all the amendments on the page.
Okay. I just want to hear some debate relating to what I said, because it's kind of, we could do like one or the other kind of thing. So it could be any business except for confirmations, or any business regarding Title VI.
Vice Chair Kringle, D. Summertall, and then D. Like Morset.
Motion to make debate unlimited.
There's some motion to make debate unlimited. Are there any objections? Freehaver. It was on the tip of my tongue. Senator Freehaver.
Yeah, I just object to unlimited for the same reasons that Senator Rose said earlier. But like, I wouldn't be opposed to extending the time to like maybe another 5 minutes. I just think unlimited might be a little bit unnecessary.
Do you withdraw your?
Honestly, no, I don't withdraw.
Do you withdraw your motion?
No.
Okay, so we're gonna pro con this. You're gonna Senator Freehaver is gonna be given a minute to state your side, and then Vice Chair Kringle will also be given a minute to share his side, and then we'll vote. Pro will be no unlimited debate, and con will be yes unlimited debate. And your 1 minute is whenever.
Okay, yeah. So just what we said earlier, just to not drag this on any longer than we had to. We spent a lot of time on this last meeting. But yeah, I mean, I totally agree. Like, give people time to talk about it, but unlimited, I just think is unnecessary. Like, if we're in the middle of like a thought, totally work it out. But yeah.
So yeah, we just keep going back and forth, and unlimited debate means that whenever debate is done, so we don't have to keep extending constantly. I would just prefer we have unlimited debate, and then when everyone's done with their thoughts, instead of constantly extending, when we have new thoughts, we just debate without any extensions. I yield my time.
Yes.
Can I just add something real quick?
No.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's cool. That's cool.
We are now in voting procedure.
Which one's which?
Pro will be Senator Freehaver's view, which is no unlimited debate. And then con will be Vice Chair Kringle's view, which is unlimited debate. And pro is yes on your screen, and con is no on your screen. Did I make that clear? Okay, with the vote count of 11 to 15 to 0, unlimited debate has passed. Okay, so now we're in unlimited debate. Chair Samilo.
Okay, again, they're two separate things. So if y'all could just tell me which one we prefer so I could get rid of one, and that way we can move forward and get over with debate. That would be great.
Senator Brown, Chair Hamid, and then Chair Rose.
So for the two options for the amendment, I think it would be better to do any business regarding Title VI. However, I'm still not in favor of this amendment. And also, I'd like to apologize for referring to the Supervisor of Elections as Election Commissioner. That was my bad. So yeah, Supervisor of Elections. So I still don't think that this is a bill or an amendment that we should vote in favor of, because like we've talked about, we keep talking about how we need to give a voice to the Election Commission and make sure that we're listening to them and concerns they have, as they are experts on the matter. However, this bill as it stands gives them full debating rights to talk about, things they've seen or experienced or ideas they have or, whatnot. And I'm sure we'll have, and if we're talking about acting on good faith, I'm sure we'll have good chairs that are willing to hear them out. I just think where it crosses the line is where we give them voting rights. And I think that we don't need to give them voting rights to give them a voice in ENA and to hear them out. And I think we can still act on good faith and listen to them without crossing that line that is reserved for the legislative branch, being voting rights. So I will not be voting in favor of this amendment still. But if we are, just for this purposes, I think that we should do the regarding Title VI instead of the any business for confirmations. So yeah.
I think I said Chair Hamid and then Chair Rose.
simply talking about the amendment, I will say that I prefer regarding Title VI. I think it just sounds better. Grace, would you like to be yielded to? I yield to Supervisor of Elections Myers.
Can I like talk about the bill itself as well as like the current amendment?
Let's talk about the amendment first, and then when we go into the entire bill, then you can
Okay,
talk about it. But if the amendment affects the entire bill, like, you get it.
Okay. So regarding the voting rights, I also would like y'all to consider for election appointments, election commission appointments as well. That's totally up to you. I recently was involved in the last interview for the election commissioner who decided to drop out before confirmation, but I would recommend putting that in there as well, as it's not always a guarantee that the executive branch will allow us to sit in on those interviews.
Churros.
Yeah, so I would say I prefer the regarding Title VI language. And just in general, like, I think it should be very specific on what powers they do have to vote on if we are going to go that route.
Chair Temple.
I do suppose that this debate is going to go around in little circles here, so I'm going to put my 2 cents in before things really do start going into circles. But I will be concurring with Senator Brown has said. I do not support having voting rights for the supervisor of elections whatsoever. I am in support of having full debate rights, because that is what an ex officio seat like the GAC does on GAP, and it would do ENA just as much justice if they did have that ex officio status. In addition, I would really like to consider having some further input from the Attorney General on this as well.
Chair Samillo, Vice Chair Duke, and then Eli Richmond.
I was gonna retain and just like move on because I think we all have our minds made up. So I'll just let it go to Duke.
I was just gonna agree with Temple and Brown. I think that this is great, and I think that they should have a seat on ENA, and I think like having full debate rights is great. But I think like this is a really big change, and it's already on 3rd reading, and I think making like this significant of a change to it is just like I'd like to hear more like from the Attorney General and more people like that. If it is to pass, though, I do like the amendments that Sonilla did make, but that's just kind of my 2 cents.
I'm gonna first ask Chair Polero, do you know which amendment you want to make a friendly amendment? Or are we still gonna? Because right now you have both as your friendly amendment.
The regarding Title VI.
That's the part you're gonna keep in, not the rest. Okay. Perfect. So now these are all the amendments on the page. Chair Temple.
Anybody can pro-con me on this, but I move to vote on these amendments.
There's a motion to vote. Are there any? Oh, sorry.
I just, sorry, excuse me, really quickly. I just want to make sure that you all fully understand the amendment as it currently reads. If you get rid of, on business regarding Title VI, means they will have debating rights and voting rights on business regarding Title VI, meaning they will not have debating rights on any other business. Just want to make sure that is your intention before you choose to vote. Thank you.
Chair Temple.
Move to vote on the amendments.
There's a motion to move to 1 second. I just realized I forgot Eli Richmond went. Okay. There's a motion to move to voting on these amendments. Please take a good look at them, and if there are any are there any objections? Chair Lazo.
Shouldn't we like ask Supervisor if they're okay with just the debating rights on Title VI, and then we can like I don't know if that counts as an
It's up to you if you want to. Are you making a motion?
I guess. Would that
Are
be?
you,
would that be an
first of all,
objection?
are you objecting?
Yeah, I object, I guess, but not because I don't agree that we should move on to vote. I just want to like make sure that the supervisor and Chair DeCure are okay with this. It's not.
Okay.
It's a friendly thing.
There's an objection. Do you withdraw?
I'll withdraw.
Okay. Is there another motion you'd like to make?
Just a question for both Chair Vine and Supervisor Myers.
Mhm.
Just wanted to make sure either of you can answer this. Just wanted to make sure that you're okay with the debate, like as the amendment stands, since you are going to go vote on it. Just to make sure that as the amendment reads, you're okay with just having debating rights on Title VI. So
I think what Brody just said is basically it would say who shall have full debating and voting rights in Business Title VI, but when it does come to conformees, there will be no debating rights. That's what how it's reading right now. So I think what Brody was saying was that it would be having like debate and then have full debating and voting rights on any business regarding Title VI. On any other business done within ENA, it should be just full debating rights. I don't know what the correct wording is for that. So I don't know if anyone wants to add that. I'll yield to Supervisor Myers.
Okay, so as I previously requested, considering adding in that the supervisor can also debate and vote on election commission conformees, I think that would fix that issue.
Chair Daedalus?
I was just going to say to switch the order of it rather than saying who shall have full debating rights and voting rights, then rather to say who shall have voting rights on any business regarding Title VI and full debating rights, if you get what I'm saying, if that makes sense.
Chair Temple?
If we're going to continue making amendments regarding this, and the more we add on, the more vague it's going to be and the more gray it's going to be, which is why I'm strongly suggesting that we include the Attorney General in this in order to get full implication on the matter. That way we know exactly what the language is going to be if we are to do this, which again, I'm still opposed to under all circumstances. But if it sees fit, I strenuously suggest we include the Attorney General the more we add on to this legislation.
Chair Lazo, Eli Richmond, and then Chair Samillo.
Unfortunately, I disagree. The whole point of us adding on to it so that it's not vague. It's kind of why we're trying to appease both sides that are saying this is too much power or it's too vague on what business they can participate on. So that's what we're trying to do. It's they're just trying to make a compromise. And I don't think it's adding too much. If anything, it's just the amount of clarity that people are asking for.
Eli Richmond.
This is kind of going backwards, but it's kind of to Ethan's point. Like, could we postpone this till next meeting? Like, maybe even so AG Moore could sponsor if she is favorable to that, or could we could go out of our way to speak to AG Moore and see her opinions.
Is that a motion?
Can I get I guess Chair DeCara's opinion, if he would be okay with that?
I mean, I'll say it again. I literally went into the office while AG Moore was there and I asked her, I mean, y'all see how much I interact with her. I wouldn't do something like this and not ask her. And she did say she was in favor of it. I mean, you guys can choose or not choose to believe me, but it's just also when we do stuff like this, AG Moore then has to spend the entire time and then speak on this. That's why I spoke to them before this so that she doesn't have to keep coming in for stuff like this, but she did already speak and said that she was in favor of this.
I said Chair Samillo first, and then I'll go Chair Temple.
I was going to retain and move to vote. So if Temple, okay. So yeah, I motion to vote on the amendments.
Well, first off, Polaire, what is the final amendment going to be? Because there's been a bunch of additions. Right now, as it stands, it is just and any business regarding Title VI. I didn't know if anyone else had any other amendments before we voted on this. Decent.
Can we get Daedalus's amendments to be friendly with?
Yeah.
Somebody added it, I think.
I don't think so. Those are the original ones.
No, they changed the order, right?
It's added and then they deleted it.
It says have full debating rights and voting rights on any business regarding Title VI.
That's what it was originally.
Oh, I thought it was okay.
No, they're right. There was for somebody wrote it in and then they took it out.
Yeah. I think they took it out. Right now in the document, there's none. Are there any objections to going to voting procedure on the amendment on the screen? Someone's typing. I don't know who's typing. Okay, if there are no objections, we're about to vote. Okay. We've now moved to voting procedure on the amendment, which is just and then on any business regarding Title VI. With a vote count of 10 to 15 to 2, this amendment does not pass. Now we move to debate on the original bill. Chair Samilo?
Motion to table internal bill 5514. I just feel like there's a lot of going back and debating. So if there's talk with AG Moore that needs to be had, then that can be had, but I'm tired of kind of going back and forth. So my motion is to table this.
There's a motion to table. Are there any objections? Vice Chair Duke.
Instead of tabling, could we postpone it? Because, yeah, that it would just make more sense because we'd have to come back to it during the meeting if we were tabling it.
I meant postpone till next meeting.
Okay, there's a motion to postpone. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we have postponed internal bill 5514. Chair Temple?
Question to Chair DeCara.
Oh, you may.
Wouldn't this also mean we need to postpone Resolution 5523 since you intended on having that legislation be in tandem with Internal Bill 5514?
Technically.
Is that a motion?
Yeah, move to postpone Resolution 5523.
There's a motion to postpone 5523. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we're now on Resolution 5524, which is by Chair DeCara as well. Oh, there's the original, I believe it was 555. So you have 5 minutes whenever you're ready.
We voted on this last time. I think y'all were in favor of it. I can read it again. Like fair trade is just like a designation a school or a city or a town just can get that basically shows that the university would be getting their products and selling products that are ethically and environmentally sound. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. So basically, products would be sold from places that paying their workers fair wages and safe environments, and also environmentally friendly too. I mean, like your phones have fair trade metals. And your phone, a lot of stuff like we sell just in general is fair trade products. It's just like a international thing too. But that's pretty much it. I yield the rest of my time.
Are there any questions? Chair Samilo?
Motion to move to debate.
There's a motion to move to debate. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we're now in debate. Is there any debate? Vice Chair Kringle and then Chair Samilo.
Mayor Tain.
You may.
This is a really great thing. Voting in favor. Motion to voting.
There's a motion to move to voting. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we are now in voting. With the vote count of 25 to 0, Resolution 5524 passes on third reading. We are now on Resolution 5525. Chair Lazo, you have 5 minutes whenever you're ready.
Like Chair DeCara said, we saw this before the budget hearing. Pro-gun safety advocacy and pro-gun education on UCF. Let's keep our campus safe and not scary. Thank you. I yield my time.
Are there any questions at Chair Temple?
2 quick ones.
Yeah, you may.
So are there going to be any classes associated with this resolution? Have you been working with PD on that?
Like course catalog classes or like optional, like you can go to them classes?
Optional, go to them classes.
Oh yeah, I have them mentioned in the penultimate whereas clause. It's the active sale and tabletop request form, and I was actually talking to. I gotta follow up with Netta about that. We were planning on doing one in Senate, and then also kind of just advocating for more of them in web courses and in like colleges.
Second question.
You may.
Do you know? If there are to be in-person optional courses that students can attend, will you be working with UCFPD to organize those?
UCFPD is the one that organizes them, so that wouldn't be up to me. That would have to, I wouldn't be able to have a say in like how they organize it because it's already a pre-made class.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions? Chair Samilla?
Motion to move to debate.
There's a motion to move to debate. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we're now in debate. Chair Hamid and then Chair Samilla.
So I've seen this. Obviously, we've seen this already, and we already passed it. I'm going to say outright, I'm already in favor for this. I've seen Chair Lazo's drive for this initiative and the amount of work that she's put into it. She really put a lot of care into this. Also, especially with what happened yesterday, if you guys don't know, there was a mass shooting at the Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl parade, which is horrific. Also, this is the worst word to use for it, but so Jason Lore, my freshman year of high school, I was in a school shooting at my high school MSD down in South Florida. So I have firsthand experience of seeing the horrors that gun violence can bring to a community. I have had friends who have been diagnosed with PTSD at 14 years old, which should not be normal. You know, my friends have had to go to their best friends' funerals at 14, which is horrific. It has left, gun violence leaves families without key members. It leaves people without their friends, and it leaves children in caskets, to be frank. There's, at this point in our country, obviously this is a very much larger debate than us, but there is no real safe place for anyone to be. A mass shooting can happen at anywhere, and that is horrifying. Personally, because of what happened to me, I was even scared to be a senator. I'm afraid to walk into this room a lot of the time because, you know, big room, a lot of people. It's impacts people on a daily basis. And I don't want that for anyone on UCF campuses. I don't want that for anyone in Florida. And I especially don't want that for anyone anywhere. I believe that we all, as students, deserve the right to a free, safe education where we do not feel the fear of getting killed in our classrooms. And I think that having more education on how to protect yourself is the best thing that we can do right now. And so I strongly encourage you guys to support this legislation and to help see it pass through, and also go into the classes that Lazo's getting Netta to sign us up for.
Is it Chair Samilla?
May I retain?
You may.
First, I want to say, Jason, you're so strong. We love you. So kisses. And yes, I do agree that education, oh my gosh, for this topic is very crucial and very vital. So I do really love that this is coming to light, and I hope everybody votes in favor. With that, move to vote.
There's a motion to move to voting. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we're now in voting. With a vote count of 26 to 0 to 1, Resolution 5525 passes on third reading. Thank you, Chair Hamid, for your words. Notice of legislation on second reading, proclamations, Proclamation 5514, Military and Veteran Caucus. I'm not quite sure who's speaking on this.
What do you think?
Oh. Sorry. Chair DeCara, you have 5 minutes whenever you're ready.
What is yeah, it's me again. I'm back with military veterans proclamations. This one is just about because Reserve's birthday is coming up. It's the 83rd. You can read it. As you know, like I read a lot in there. But basically, we have different branches here on campus. You know, we have the Army and Air Force ROTC. But other than that, we do have veterans all over. I actually went to the Military Veterans Association meeting where they were, like their new exec board, and it's a good like 10 of them, and they're all from different backgrounds. And it's so cool. Like they talk about their stories and everything. And, actually like, I think like 2 of them are Coast Guard, and they're like talking about what they did in their service, coming back to school and like what they do personally now, and seeing how like life is inside and outside of, UCF. And that kind of solidified even more like why we're here is like this caucus was made to. I was like, they're actually happy to see that, we as students able to speak to them and talk to them. And I told them that we were writing this proclamation. And even though it's just recognizing their birth, their celebration of like the creation of it, it does mean a lot to them to see that they're recognized by like the student body. And that's pretty much it. Just probably, I yield the rest of my time.
Motion to debate.
There's a motion to move to debate. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we're now in debate. Is there any debate? Or a motion? Vice Chair Kringle?
This is an amazing proclamation. May I retain?
You may.
Motion to voting.
There's a motion to move to voting. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we're now on voting. With the vote count of 25 to 1, this vote passes on second, or this proclamation passes on second reading. Senate Forum, Richmond.
I forgot. Wait, give me a second. Oh, I remember. Okay, Monique Worrell will be at UCF Dems, 5 p.m., Student Union 223. I hope to see everyone there. I will call you out next meeting. Like, it'll be the opposite of Senator shoutouts. And then more information on the dunk tank. First throw is free, so show you have good aim or pay $1, but it's for the kids. And then an automatic dunk is $10, which is kind of steep.
Is there anyone else for Senate Forum? Seeing none, Senate deliberations. Does anybody want to speak in Senate deliberations? Seeing none, advisors report, Brody.
Hey everybody, not much for me. It is the end of the pay period. So for those in paid roles, make sure you submit your time tonight. Yeah, that's it for me. We'll do some senator shout outs. Laurel.
Motion to see senator shoutouts as a block.
That's how you gonna do that?
Just shout out everyone.
No, I refuse. All right. Are there any legitimate senator shoutouts? Akila.
I want to shout out Chair Hamid. It takes a lot of courage to speak on the topics that they're speaking up about. They care so much about their community, and especially through their involvement in, all this legislation and advocating for students. So I want to commend them for all that they've done.
Ethan?
All right, might as well get this out of the way early. So, of course, shout out to Gap for doing an amazing job at Day at the Capitol. Didn't get to do that the first time. Might as well do this the third time. I also wanted to shout out Ayala Pullman, of course, because happy birthday to her. And, of course, shout out to my mentee down over there, JC. And we found out about him becoming a mentee alongside that of Chair Yaman Chiles. So I get to have one of the best SLC mentees. Wait, did I say that out loud? Oops.
All right. All right. If there's no more shout outs. Oh, all right, Aria.
Hi, everyone. Of course, I'm going to shout out Black Caucus because it's Black History Month, and they put in very, very hard work. I'm going to shout out CCIE as always, and I'm going to shout myself out because I've been a consistent scholar.
All right. Aiden.
I just wanted to shout out Senator Polera. I like you like our newer senators, like they speak a lot, and I love hearing them talk and seeing like you do your amendment on like your first amendment. Like that means that like I even haven't done an amendment yet. I just write the legislation half the time, but like it means a lot. Like, and you spoke and you did your thing. I give you recognition for that.
All right. Adam.
Shout out to DKR for being an absolute legislation beast. Always writing all this stuff. Amazing. Do great work. Shout out to CRT, of course, best committee. And also shout out to CCIE, best college.
All All right, Kylie.
Shout out to Adam. That's it. That's all I got.
All right, we love a vague shout out. Amanda.
I wanted to shout out Chair Hamid because he's not giving himself enough credit. He helped me out so much just with this bill, and then he also helped everybody out so much with SBA initiatives and just helping out with their bills, and they need that credit. Please, can we give them another round of applause?
All right, they're fine. Akila.
I wanted to shout out both Gus and Austin, and also I think Jason, Sierra, and Ishan, who are not here right now. All of them are Order of Pegasus nominees, which is an amazing accomplishment. It's one of the highest accolades you can get at the school, and it just shows that their commitment to excellence, advocacy, success, all the UCF Creed values, not only in Senate, but also outside of Senate, and just how that they've impacted the UCF community as a whole. So I think that deserves a round of applause. I think I said Sierra, right? I just wanted to make sure. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I figured I would forget a few. First and foremost, I wanted to shout out ORS Chair Rose. He's growing into the position very well, especially given the caucus we had tonight. Well done on that. And of course, shout out to Pro Tem Marlon for taking up the chair tonight in lieu of Sierra. You're doing a great job up there, by the way. And I'm fairly certain I have. Shout out Corson as well for sitting in on all these meetings and taking the time out of his night to do all this. You've been there every single time since for God knows how long. Well done.
Is there a motion for a non-committee member to speak? Non-senator to speak.
So moved.
Go ahead.
First off, thank you, Senator. And second off, as a non-senator watching this meeting tonight, I wanted to say thank y'all. Watching y'all debate that bill regarding the supervisor of elections, that was so entertaining. Thank you all.
All right. Jonathan?
So just a quick shout out to Senator Blanco because he got appointed very recently, but every time he's been in the office or been at a Senate meeting, he's been wanting to know more, and he's super cool and a great friend.
All right. Anna?
Yeah, I'd also like to just shout out all of the ORS for helping out today. That was awesome. Really appreciate it. I know all the officers are real excited about anything that we can do to help out with that. And then same thing to CRT for just helping out with that and helping out in the next coming week. So yeah, thanks guys.
Okay. Yeah, one.
So shout out to Senator Torres. He's been a great friend and he has been helping me understanding a lot. Shout out to Black Caucus for Black History Month. Shout out to CCIE. Yeah. And shout out to GAP and to the Latin Hispanic Caucus.
All right. Yeah, Jason.
So obviously, gotta shout out SBA. How Allison sees the SL series as their kids. I kind of see SBA as my kids. I'm gonna be kind of for real. Whenever they tell me a new update with their initiatives, I get really happy. And I'm whenever I read their emails about their success, I'm like, oh my God, my kids, they're growing. And then Andrea's mother, because she's mother. You can shout her out like that. But I don't know. I really appreciate SBA's hard work and dedication to the cause. I have high expectations for all of them, but they always reach it or exceed it. And I think that's obviously shown through the initiatives that we've completed, especially with Chair Lazo's one tonight. I'm really glad that got passed. And seeing all the impact that they have on campus is really inspiring as their leader. I don't know why I did quotes, but I like seeing them succeed and it makes me really happy. Shout out to Austin Lazier, because he's such a nice guy. He's so so sweet. I don't know. he gave me his jacket last meeting because I was cold, and I didn't shout him out for that. And then he texted me, "Why didn't you shout me out?" And so now I'm shouting him out because like he's like a sweet guy, and so I think he deserves recognition for that.
All right. Kylie?
I'm watching you, Jason.
Okay. Jonathan?
One last final shout out to a non-senator, JC. Me and JC, first of all, he's always in the office, so he's always like carrying me my Senate stuff. Also, we work together, and also we recently found out we have a class together. And yeah, love you, JC. You're awesome.
All right, Laurel.
Shout out Allison, of course. Shout out Humayan. She's my new best friend. She doesn't even know it yet. Shout out Jason. She's the best. Oh, and shout out Ethan. They're both letting me do the same initiative for each committee, so it makes me look good. Like I'm actually doing work, but it's really just double whammy. And shout out everyone. I'm so proud of everyone.
All right, Aiden.
I forgot the shout out. One, it's like 3, but also like it covers everything. Latin Hispanic, duh. But Senator Blanco and Senator Torres helped me work on a proposal while I was in a meeting. And it's like a really big event, and I'm really hoping this event like is a big thing that the caucus does like every semester. And they're like the kind of like the pioneers for it. They helped me work on it and like get it done like the day I needed it. And you know, like they work together, and that's why I like seeing in my caucus, and I'm very proud of them.
All right, Adam.
I can't believe no one else has yet. Shout out to the advisors. You guys are awesome.
I am pretty good. All right. Any other Senator Aiden?
I have to do it. Supervisor Myers. Yeah, she'd be sitting here too. She's like, you know, we have like the other branch heads go, but here she is, you know, during election season when she could be, you know, looking over the night form and everything and getting things ready. But she's also probably doing it right now too, and also listening, you know, speaking and debating. You know, she doesn't have to do that. She could have just been like, this is what I said, or not even be here at all. But here she is, all our meetings, and I don't know what she's gonna be next one because you know after that it's actually like election, like campaigning. But I do appreciate her coming in, you know, being able to speak. You know, we don't get that with certain members who come in, like, you know, when we want them to speak, but you know, having her right there has been like very beneficial when we get to debate certain legislation.
All right, Maddie.
I was going to shout out Temple for reading my announcements and then immediately sending me all of the missing minutes. Thank you. And also I was going to shout out Vihan, who is not here tonight, but they showed up apparently very sick, and we're very concerned about who was going to do a roll call tonight. So shout out Vihan.
All right. Any other senator shout outs? All right.
Hello, everyone. I'm Neda. Fantastic meeting. Love seeing you all. Please fill out this doodle poll for your availability to have an event and or possible training. If we have an event or training, I promise there will be snacks. If you need anything at all or someone to talk to, I am here for you.
Hello. Hang on. Senator Duke has also sent me a cat photo. You guys should all start sending me cat photos. It'll make Brody very mad. Which is my favorite thing to do. I'm sleepy. It's late. Congratulations to everyone who survived the first round of tests. It was not fun. I'm sure you all agree. Can you make that smaller? Actually, I got it. Look at all these cool cats. I put a pro-con cat because there were too many pro-cons tonight. No more of those. I do the voting record, and that is more work for me. And also, GAP, ORS, and FAO are a little bit behind on their minutes. Make fun of them and email them to me ASAP. Good job, everyone else. And well, good job to the other ones too. And that is everything. Akila, we're done.
Sorry, that's on me. I'm trying to find exactly who I'm pointing to FAO. 1 second. Yeah. Senator Moosemeyer, did I spell your name right? Document. Okay. Miscellaneous business. Appointments. Are both ENA and FAO and appointments, Brody? Okay. Where should they be? I also think so. Okay, is there a motion to open up elections for ENA and FAO? Or ENA for just ENA? Okay. Yay or nay for Ariana Lopez?
You move to vote. Nomination.
Oh, move to vote? No, we don't move to
Here.
vote. Do we move? Okay, perfect. Is there a motion to close nominations?
So moved.
Is there a motion to open FAO nominations? Yay or nay, Moosemeyer? Is there a motion to close nominations? Thank you. I don't know any of this. I mess it up every single time, and that's okay. Appointments, resignations, none. DeMarla's drip down. Oh my God, this is gonna be hard. I feel like I've done everyone at least once. So today, I'm gonna give honorable mention to Danny. I do like the outfit.
Honorable.
Because I realized I've never shouted out our advisors. So, for third, we have Brody with the nice formal fit. If you want to give us a twirl. And then I can't decide between Netta and Maddie, so both get first place. Let's go. They both get
They're both first.
Oh.
Oh.
They're both first and second. If you guys want to give us a twirl. Let's go. And then is there a motion? I'm gonna give to someone who's never done it before. Senator Lazier.
Motion to adjourn pending final roll call.
There's a motion to adjourn pending final roll call. Are there any objections? Sorry, Ethan. Seeing none. Roll call.
Present.
Present. I'm sorry. All right. Corelli, we got Morissette.
Present.
Temple. Good evening.
Guerrero.
Present.
Blanco.
Present.
Kringle. Oh, did I skip? I'm sorry. Polera. I had already moved down on the sheet, so I couldn't remember if I said it or not.
Present.
Kringle.
Present.
Daedalus.
Present.
DeCara.
Present.
Butler.
Present.
Conti.
Present.
Shanoon. Lazier.
Present.
Fintel.
Present.
Hamid.
Present.
Rose.
Quieter.
Present.
Whitson. Brown.
Present.
Samilo.
Present.
Humayun.
Present.
Patel. Yalamanchili. Luthra. Acosta.
Aki.
Lopez. Hashimi.
Present.
Duke.
Present.
Torres Disqua.
Present.
Holmes. Hurst. Fuchs. Moosemeyer.
Present.
Freehafer.
Present.
Federico. Pullman. Richmond.
Present.
Vasquez. DeMarla. Matal.
Present.
28 out of 41. Quorum's verified.
With this, I adjourn our meeting at 10:30 p.m.